Ahoy and welcome back to another video. Today I just want a quick video talk about some Animal Crossing. The new Animal Crossing, New Horizons, Nintendo Switch 2 edition, 3.0 update, all that stuff. That just came out and I've turned it on, I played it for a little bit, but what I actually want to talk about today is the original Animal Crossing. I've been playing this off and on for maybe a better part of a year for no real reason other than just kind of wanting to, and then getting closer to the update. Once it was announced, I was playing it as my excitement for the New Horizons update was building. And I just kind of wanted to talk about some of the fun things I noticed or random little quirks about going back to this original Animal Crossing. So first things first, there's going to be a lot of random negative things in here. I love this game. I've been playing it for 2 decades. I feel like I played it way back when it first came out on the GameCube. But if there's one thing it definitely does better than New Horizons is if it doesn't load fast, about 10 times as fast as New Horizons, you turn this game on and it just kind of turns on. I turned on New Horizons this weekend, played the update, and I forgot just how long it takes for that game to boot up, load, and just get to a playable state. So it was really fun just to turn on the GameCube, select my character, and just start playing. But this game's got a lot of interesting stuff that brings in some unnecessary tedium when you're looking back at how we've progressed all these years later. First things first, the original Animal Crossing, you've only got 15 items in your inventory, or 15 slots rather. So it's super crowded in there, and this includes all your tools you're trying to hold. So if you got a shovel, a net, a fishing rod, all that's just taking up, one of your precious 15 slots. And then little things like picking up fruit. That stuff doesn't stack. It's just the fruit takes up a spot, and every seashell picks up a spot. So when you're selling that stuff early game to make money, you have to take several trips to Tom Nook to sell this stuff. It's kind of funny in a way that I used to deal with this, because I guess when I was a kid this was just normal to me, and I was like, oh, let's just do this for 10 times for an hour and a half, and it was no big deal. But now I'm like, I don't have the patience to shake all the fruit off the trees and take 10 trips to Tom Nook to make 6,000 bells. And speaking of bells, the money rocks in this game is funny too. Same issue. Money rocks drop bells like they always do, but they come in chunks of 100 or 1,000 bells for the first half dozen or so hits, and each of those bags takes up an individual spot in your inventory. And it's really funny just having to individually drop each $100 bell, each $1,000 bell into your little money slot individually. It's taking up way more time than it would in New Horizons. This really shows how far we've come from a tedium point of view. I was really making a point each day when I would play this game, because I basically play one day at a time. I wouldn't change the date and grind or anything. I would basically do one day's worth of chores, put it down, play it again in a week or something like that. And each time I turned the game on, I basically wanted to run around and see anything and everything the town possibly could have going on. Because I feel like this game just got a lot of character. A lot of weird stuff would happen in this game. Just small things like seeing this character Gracie the giraffe, and the car is just parked here, and you are tasked with cleaning Gracie's car, and then you get a T-shirt out of it from cleaning this car for Gracie, and seeing supporting my local businesses with people like Joan with their turnips. Joan in some point, in some way, makes an appearance, the turnips, in New Horizons, but it was just funny seeing Joan, this original, I don't even know what the hell Joan is, aardvark, I don't know, but the stock market. When I was a kid, I didn't understand this was a joke about the stock market. So just seeing these little things that I didn't really understand as a kid, and seeing them now as an adult, which is a fun little experience. Finding Sahara, buying her carpets, or rather exotic rugs to really liven up my dumpster home. And just running around the town makes me have an appreciation for where, terraforming is at in New Horizons, how you can change the village to your will. You can add bridges, you can add ramps. You didn't get to do that in the original Animal Crossing. The island you got is the island you got, and the island I got was kind of crappy. Kind of a crappy layout. Like, I feel like I had to really run around way out of my way to get to some places. It was not super easy to navigate. And, this isn't a one free-flowing map. This is a grid. It's square-based, tile-based. So you go to the end of one screen, it loads in the next one. So like getting around is not necessarily as easy, but it does help with the surprise though, because like every time I went to the edge of one little grid, I was like, I wonder if anything weird's gonna be going on in the next one. And every once in a while there was. It was just super fun to have that little, discoverability, finding Gulliver on the beach, and not seeing him coming until I, make it to that square. Little things like that just really capture the magic of this original Animal Crossing game. I really love how in this game, Nook's Cranny doesn't just change one time. That was the thing that really let me down in New Horizons, how the cranny upgraded from the original look to just like the final shop look, I guess. In the original GameCube Animal Crossing, it upgrades like 3 times. It goes from a cranny to Nook Mart, and then it goes to Nook Way, I believe. And then if you keep playing and you keep buying stuff, it'll turn into the 2-story Nookingtons, and that's where Timmy and Tommy show up for the first time. I believe they're the upstairs helpers for the Nookingtons. So yeah, just like working my way through the Nook upgrades always felt good in this game too. I loved sending stupid letters to the villagers because when you first start this game out, you're working for Tom Nook and he wants to teach you how to send letters. So I would send stupid mean letters to villagers, and then days later they'd be like excited to show me the letter they got from me, and I had forgotten about it at this point, and they show me the letter and it would just be something like, "You are dumb, I hate you," and they're like, "Thank you for this kind letter." So that was always just like really funny, magical moments in these games. The villagers also have a little more personality to them. They're not always nice to you. Sometimes they're just mean. They're grumpy. If you push them around, they'll get mad. Let's see, the museum. This is a funny thing with the museum. The museum and the fossils, the way they work in this game, is so unnecessarily tedious. So, you dig up fossils in this game like you do any Animal Crossing game. And there'll probably be about, I think there's 5 in your village a day that you can find. So you find 5 fossils. And you bring it to the museum, and Blathers is like, "Oh, sorry, I can't tell you what that is. I'm not certified to that. You have to mail those off." It's like, okay, let's go mail these off at the post office. So you go to the post office, and then you realize, oh, well, first, before I can mail things, I have to go buy paper from Tom Nook. So I've got my 5 fossils. I go to Tom Nook's. I buy a packet of paper, which comes in a stack of 4, of course. So I can't get enough to send all 5. So I buy a second stack of paper. So now I've got 8 pieces of paper. So now me and my 5 fossils, my 8 pieces of paper, go back to the post office. And I'm talking to the nice lady behind the counter. And what do you know? You can only mail 3 things a day. So I send my 3 letters of fossils. And so now I've got a stack of 4 papers, a stack of 1 paper, and 2 extra fossils. And the next day I get more fossils. And it's like the numbers never really line up. And it's just unnecessarily annoying in your inventory, because now I've got a shovel, I've got 2 sacks of paper, I've got 2 extra fossils, I've got a fishing rod, and I have like maybe 7 slots in my inventory left to do everything else. And it just keeps adding on to the inventory issue I mentioned at the beginning. And it was annoying, but it's rather charming. Just kind of knowing how down to earth this game used to be, and how spoiled we are with New Horizons. I think that the New Horizons, everything stacks in your inventory, and you've got like, I feel like 50 slots. It's like impossible to run out of inventory space, which is probably better from a gameplay perspective. But I did appreciate, having to be really careful about picking stuff up in this original game, so I don't take up all the space in my inventory. because it's also really tedious. You pick something up, it'll like go, uh-oh, your inventory's full. You got to drop something, and then you go in there and you got to click through, and you just got to drop something on the ground right there in the middle of your town. And you never want to just leave something on the ground in the middle of your town. You don't want to litter in this village you're trying to upbring, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Overall, though, I am glad I went back to this original Animal Crossing. If even, I didn't actually roll credits, finish the game per se. I'm on like the second to last house upgrade. I think I'm paying off the top story now, and I don't know if I'm gonna pay off my loan and get the statue at the end again. But it's been fun just to kind of go back and mess around in this game, seeing like just the funny things like talking to Blathers and having him waste my time, and intentionally getting Rossetti and having him waste my time. It's not necessarily a good use of my time, but it's a very fun use of my time and a very nostalgic use of my time. When I have the urge to play Animal Crossing again this year, I'll probably just jump back in New Horizons and mess around with the new update. But I'm glad I revisited this original game, and I really think it would be cool to get added to NSO and have a larger group of people get to experience it. Even though I'm not sure how an NSO game would work with like save states and the changing of times and all that stuff, and Nintendo being weird with, having NES games inside of a GameCube game inside of NSO, and it's like, but it is what it is. I'm glad I played it. And if you have access to it, I think you'd have fun with it as well. It's nice to see where this giant series has come from, and kind of, gain some appreciation for, the nice things we have these days. But yeah, that's all I got. So I appreciate you listening, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.